What did you say you wanted to say again? Remind me.
Hey guys, welcome to Spare Parts. How are you, Evan?
Hey guys, welcome to Spare Parts. I'm doing great. Michelle, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm wearing camo because I kind of feel I'm having a day where I am like,
you want to blend in and hide.
Yeah, I feel like an invisible person.
Well, this is helping then. Yeah, I can't even see your torso.
That's what I thought.
I gotta say, it's a cool sweater though. The second you sat down, I was like, I'm gonna order me a camo sweater.
Yeah.
That was my first thought.
I mean, as I said before when we weren't recording, it's called Real Tree, and I'm a bit of a trend
army camo.
setter.
It's hunting camo.
Yeah. I know that this has been literally everywhere for like 3 years, and I just bought it now. So it's certainly not a cutting edge choice, but I do really like it.
Did you get it from a Canadian Tire?
Well, I know I got it at, I remember last episode, I don't think we kept it in, but that store in Victoria botched.
I was going to try and guess the name of it. And then your friend's company is called like No More Compliments or Complaint Department.
There it is.
Yeah.
You nailed it. Complaint Department.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's clever.
So I got it from there.
Botched.
Anyways, yeah, it's just feeling, we're recording on a Saturday, which is not normal for us. So it's like sleepy weekend vibes, which is kind of nice. I'm kind of feeling cozy.
I feel cozy too. Do you have a tea with you?
No, I have like a little splash of juice mixed with water, which is...
God. What do you want to cleanse?
No, it's like... It's how I know juice to be because I had a real health nut of a mom.
For me, split your juice.
Oh yeah, no, juice was like the littlest touch of juice and then all water.
Oh wow.
And so when I actually had real juice, I was shocked. It was a shock to the system. This is how I like it.
Can I see the color? Oh, is it a cranberry? Is that what you're working on?
It's a pomegranate raspberry juice mixed with good old-fashioned Vancouver Island tap water.
Wow. Okay, when I was a kid, we got the brick of pink ice in a circle that you mix with a wooden spoon into a pitcher, and it was called
Minute
Pink
Maid.
Lemonade.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the
know.
closest we got to juice. So it was like the opposite, just sugar.
Just sugar. There's a margarita episode. Wow, margarita recipe that is
There's about to be a margarita episode
where you mix the. It's basically just like tequila and then the lime Minute Maid lemonade, whatever, with ice, and it's like such a kind of...
I think my parents used to drink that.
Not very sophisticated choice, but kind of weirdly good.
I have this memory of like when I was a kid, my parents would mix up these big batches of like really sickly sweet liquor and like pour it into like a to-go pitcher, and we go to the beach. Like they wouldn't give us any, but them and their friends would like drink it all day at the beach.
Whoa.
I didn't realize they were having fun.
Yeah, or absolutely getting sloshed
at the beach with children. And then somebody had to drive home. Like, I don't know. Like, we weren't old enough to drive. I don't know how many they were having. I can't, like, speak to that. But I remember this beach, Kelso Beach. If anyone knows it out there, it is barely a beach. Like, I'm sure you'd see this thing, Michelle, and you'd be, like, embarrassed for it. You'd be like, it's a little baby beach.
Yeah.
It's beside a highway.
With smelly lake water.
Oh, it's the stinkiest water. You could see the highway while you're swimming, and the cars are ripping by. But we were like... Oh, paradise when I was a kid.
Right. White sand.
White sand. Oh, yes, gorgeous white sand. No broken glass at all. No. They would get just, I guess, wasted on the beach. And then we'd head back to Oakville. That was, you don't know your parents are having fun.
I mean, it's nice to know that they are. And I think especially like, you just have such little context for what adults are up to. And you're like, oh, they were definitely partying. So
always
much
a mystery.
More. Yeah, and it was a mystery. I mean, okay, so I don't know if you know this, but this is a brag. So,
were you in a cult when you were a kid, or what? What are you going to talk?
No, but my dad's house was, and this doesn't exist anymore. We lived on we had a beach house that was like on Tawasin Beach, and at the time it was a private beach.
Oh shit.
So meaning there was probably 25 homes on this beach and no public access. So it was like our own little beach world where we would have these massive beach parties with fireworks, and we'd go like different houses, and I was friends with all the other kids that lived on the beach, and we would just be free roaming around.
This is a TV show. How long did you guys have access to this beach?
So from like me being 1 year old until we moved away at like 13. And then I think a few years later, it changed to a public beach. And now it's public.
Heartbreaking. Of course it's public. Boo. The public is gross.
No, but it's actually
the public
really
is gross.
Elitist and crazy.
No,
that,
I know, but it's hilarious.
We're like, sorry, unless you have property here, you have no access to this gorgeous beach. It's actually really insane. But we were so lucky to have.
Ew, the public is gross.
I know.
Stinky.
I know. Looking back on it, it was
like a
so
dream.
insane. We'd go crabbing, and everybody had a boat. But it was like raging parties.
That's so
when
cool.
I look back, it was so much fun. It was insane.
This is a crazy question because, like, how could you possibly know? But like, when you were living that time in your life, did you know how cool it was to have a private beach?
I think because everybody wanted to come, like all of my dad's siblings and their kids, like I realized that it was very much a hub for everybody. And all my friends on Vancouver Island would come because my parents were divorced. So I'd go there every second weekend and then like a few weeks out of the summer. And all my friends from back home would want to come to the beach house. Like the beach house was this thing. So I was definitely aware that it was really special. And it was like, when I tell you, it wasn't fancy. Like I'm describing it as if it was like really, everyone around us was fancy. And then my dad had this little rented. He always rented, never owned it. He would have loved to, but the guy would not sell it, which is fair
really?
enough.
That makes so much sense. But I bet he wished he sold it before it went public.
I mean, I don't know. It's still, it's like right on the beach. And it's
That's
a
the
little
ocean,
tiny,
right?
yeah.
It's not like a lake. Okay.
No, it's ocean. And it's like a little house on stilts. Not at all earthquake safe.
Shit.
And it had 3 wraparound balconies. And then the sunset was right in front of us. So the whole place would light up red and orange. It was insane.
That's dreamy. I mean, would you ever want to live on the ocean again though, like that?
Oh yeah. Like if I could buy that beach house and renovate, I absolutely would.
Wow. And you're not like, oh man, I guess, okay. I think about this a lot because in my mind, I'm like, oh, I would love to own a place. And there's this location called Thunder Beach in Ontario. It's about an hour and a half north of Toronto. It's right by Wasaga, but it's like a little inlet. Once again, only like 25 properties, but it is a public beach, but you can only access it through a sliver between certain houses, and then your beachfront is private up until 10 feet from the beach or something. It's very weird.
So public doesn't even go. They're like
public, private. Public isn't access really. Like people are fucking pricks there. Like I was walking through to our friend's property to go onto the beach, and he was like, this woman stopped us and was like, "Excuse me, where do you think you're going?" Like doesn't know us, doesn't know anything about our situation, but is assuming. She assumed wrongly, but like it was even if she was right, insane energy.
It is insane energy to like block access of parks, beachfront, just environment access is actually really disgusting inherently, and I don't condone it.
However, if I could buy a beachfront.
And if I could rewind and it be private, it just was like, it was so unheard of. I've just never been, and especially a West Coast, like on the mainland beach. And it was like miles. And then if you walk down far enough, it was the border into the States. So
you were that close. Yeah.
So you could go and you were in Point Roberts technically. And there was no like border patrol. You're just like walking. I don't know. It was quite surreal. Huh. And I knew it at the time as much as a little kid could. And looking back now, when we talk about it as a family, we're like, that was actually insane.
That was cool that you had access to that. Now your dad lives out in like basically Palm Springs all year, which is very different. Very different
like a
energy.
gated community.
Gated community less, in like, the
whimsical. I mean, it's beautiful and like great in its own way, but yes, it's different.
Drier,
vibes.
Right? Like there's no ocean there.
Oh yeah, it's just desert.
I assume they have a pool, like a group pool. Is it you all share a pool? And
there's like I think like 25 pools on the property. It's like on a golf course.
Old dudes have it figured out. I don't know what they're up to. Like I don't think I'll ever be that kind of old dude because I don't think I'll have that kind of money. But like, can you imagine just like golfing all day and swimming all day and that's all your life is? Like that just seems, is that good? Do you like that? Is that good? Is he happy?
Love it. They love it. My dad's 71, right? So he's worked. He's
young 71.
He is, but he played football. So he's in excruciating pain all the time. So for him going down to California is like relief because it's so dry that he can like move around. And then when you're on the West Coast and you're cold and damp, your like joints get really stiff and your inflammation flares up. These are all things I know about because of him. But yeah,
do you have that like as a young person? No, you don't know Pacific Northwest.
I don't have like
swelling.
Extreme injuries from a contact sport that should be illegal.
But you were a dancer. You didn't have you don't have explodey knees from your Highland dancing or something.
I get shin splints fairly frequently. I'm not gonna lie, but it's not. No, I think it only affects you as you get older. But anyways, they love it. He's always tanned, but he always has been. So it's hard for me to know. But it gets extreme. Like he becomes almost like a trope of a Palm Springs like snowbird.
Yeah. Does he have like a gold chain as well?
Of course.
Yeah, okay.
And it's usually a St. Christopher pendant because he's very Catholic, Irish.
Just gonna Google St. Christopher pendant. St. Christopher.
We should all be wearing St. Christopher's, whether you're religious or not, because he's a saint that got kicked out, and he's like patron saint of journeys and travel.
Wow, yeah, there's a cute pendant. I've seen this pendant around. I get it.
So I wear one every day, especially with flying, which I've always worn. It's just a thing for me. And weirdly, you know who else does is, which we found out, Kayla Lorette, who we talked about in a previous episode.
But you guys are secreting them away, like they're hidden under your shirts and stuff.
Because it's like it is kind of like a good luck charm that you just sort of always have on, and especially when I'm flying, and especially now, God, these flights. I just flew earlier this week, and it was a Delta flight. For anyone who doesn't know, for some reason, the Delta plane that just landed in Toronto and flipped over. Thank God nobody was killed. I think people were injured, but so anyways, wear your St. Christopher pin.
Or your seatbelt is the real.
Well, and your seatbelt.
I think that's the real thing here.
Well, also and also
airplanes
just,
are pretty
just
well
know
made.
that you can't control anything, and
but even if it flips, you'll be okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're lucky. Let's just say that.
So I have, just not to pivot the St. Christopher talk too much away from but I do remember, when I was a teen, one of my buddies got a car and we were like losing our minds. We're like, you got a car? Like, this is sick. Like, let's, take advantage of this and go to McDonald's every night at 4 a.m. He had this huge decal on the back window of this dude, St. Christopher.
Oh my God.
And it was because I didn't even make that connection. But I remember we called it Protegimi because his nonna, his Italian nonna, had slapped it on the back of his car.
Yeah.
And it was this super serious, sticky substance. Like he couldn't get it off.
Yeah.
And
she was
all he knew was it was protecting.
Yeah, it's protecting.
Protegimi.
And I kind of like St. Christopher because he was kicked out of the sainthood in the 80s. So it doesn't feel super religious. It feels like he was a bit of a Catholic bad boy. He wasn't quite holy enough to stay, but he still got some great values,
Yeah, I get it. I mean, it's funny hearing you say Catholic bad boy. I don't know where to go with that one. All the kind of interest, comics who do podcasting stuff seem to have Catholic backgrounds, which I find an interesting. Maybe it's just my absorption of American content over Canadian, but Conan and Steve Colbert and all these so many dudes.
Well, and it's often Irish Catholic, and it's likely because of all the trauma, and trauma tends to make people pretty funny. It either ruins your life or you're very good at jokes later.
Yeah.
What's that saying? It's do you want to have a good childhood or do you want to be funny? It's kind of that.
Do you have any friends with a great childhood? You're like, man, you suck. You're just not that funny.
Yes, of course. When I meet people that are just I have a job and I'm really happy in my life and I really like Taylor Swift, I'm like, oh, okay. You had it going on as a kid.
You had it made.
You had it made.
You had a beach house.
Your parents are still together.
And they had stilts and it was the sunset every night.
Oh, love. I did not have a hunky-dory childhood.
Well, it's because you hit 13 and you lost the place. And so that was it.
Well, we didn't lose our home. We didn't become unhoused. But yeah, we moved to a different location.
Do you say unhoused? Because I always thought the Canadians say housed. With a Z sound.
I mean, maybe I messed that up. I don't know.
No, you just have been training your Canadian accent out. Unhoused. Unhoused.
That unhoused sounds actually better now that you're saying
desperate housewives.
Desperate housewives.
Yeah.
Housewives.
Housewives. Everyone says
desperate
housewives
housewives
here. That's what they all say in Toronto.
Desperate housewives.
Have you seen the new Desperate Housewives?
I wouldn't say that.
Say it really fast.
Desperate housewives.
Oh.
Desperate housewives.
Oh,
I can't. I can't.
I think if you rewind the tape,
Yeah, no,
I think
I know.
you might hear
I
yourself.
said house, but I don't. That doesn't feel right in my body.
Didn't feel right? Well, maybe it's because you don't say housewives very often. Do you watch that show? I don't even know what that show is. It a reality show or is it not?
No, it's not. But it's
Okay.
like, I think it's got kind of some of the same addictive qualities where it's just like rich women sleeping with a pool boy, drinking martinis. Like, it's that.
See, I want to watch a show that's like that, but instead of the drama, I just want to see rich people living with no drama. Like a rich people living with no drama. I just want to see them like, what do you do? What do you eat for lunch? How much Botox are you getting? And it's just a casual observation. Like, I don't need Kim and her sisters screaming at each other for no reason. I just want to see how much do you spend on sending your bichon frise to boarding school, to the dog cafe?
Wasn't there literally this show where it was like,
there?
it was kind of just episodic of a different kind of celebrity and how they live. Damn it. It was like this guy with I think British accent being like, the rich and fabulous life of Mariah Carey. And then it shows kind of her exorbitant lifestyle and puts like actual numbers on. She spends $200,000 a year on her nails. And like, I'm pretty sure that is out there for you to consume.
Well, I'm going to find it and I'm going to watch all of it. I find that stuff fascinating.
Yeah.
Just the regular shit. Just like them being like going for lunch. Like, I want to know, like, how do you order lunch if you're like just an insane person? Like, just you're eating oysters every day and then just feeling sick all the time. Like, what's your
constantly getting hit with like the red tide flu or whatever. I mean, it's also like gross, but I know it's like sometimes you just kind of want a little peek in.
Fascination of the abomination. I'm not like, I don't love it because I'm like, I want to know because I want that. I want to know because it's the same fascination I have with reality TV. It's like, ew, like, what are you guys doing? Like, let me see.
Do you ever watch, are you watching like Love is Blind or anything like that?
I watched the first season. Barnett is a fan of Letterkenny.
I know he follows me. I'm sure he follows you too.
Hey, B. I watched that, and then I also tried watching I think the first season was the one that caught me, and then following seasons I was like, this isn't the same excitement level for me. But are you caught up? What's going on? What's the excitement? What's the exciting thing there?
I know what you're saying though, because it feels like now people just know the show too much. Like the first season, they all went in kind of with as pure intentions as you can if you're entering reality TV, because you're like, I don't even know if this is going to have attention. So I'm actually maybe interested in this quote unquote experiment and like looking for a husband or whatever, which is so crazy. But anyways, yeah, season one was like fun, and I actually watched season one on the tour, the Letterkenny tour, because Kara, shout out Kara, our producer, she came on tour with us, and she was really into it, and she was like, "You need to check out this show." So we'd watch Love Is Blind.
She has good taste. She also likes a lot of good stuff. So whenever she recommends something, it is always worth checking out.
Yeah,
Heavyweight, that's a podcast she really likes that we bonded over.
Oh, I've never listened to that.
Jonathan Goldstein from Montreal.
Oh, I don't even know what that is.
It's good. It's individual stories where, so this guy's like an extremely uncomfortable person. Like as a person, he's like, hello, I'm Jonathan Goldstein. Like that's how he talks. And he forces people to have uncomfortable conversations. So he'll find someone, like the first episode is about a cyclist who got hit by a car. And the cyclist is really curious about meeting the person who hit them with his car in order to forgive them. So he'll like track them both down and he'll be like, are you ready to talk?
That's like crazy.
So
that's such a good concept.
Yeah, it's
love
beautiful.
That.
It always resolves really, really nicely.
Oh my God, cool. I need to check this out. My tummy just growled really loud. Okay. So this is a little bit of a different episode. I think because it's the weekend, we're feeling kind of cozy. We've got a guest coming next week, which we're really excited about for a big episode. And so we were kind of humming and hawing about what we should do this week. And we feel like just kind of honing in on the spare hearts portion. Mm-hmm. We've got a lot of questions backed up that we want to get through. So we're going to do maybe 4 questions, kind of see how we go, and just kind of dedicate this to the people that have been writing in that we've maybe neglected a little bit, because we can only, get through so much. So this is a spare heart specific episode. We're really excited to talk about some love lives and just lives in general.
Should we call this Spare Hearts Volume 1? Is that kind of something we're doing, or
I like
what
that.
Are we? Yeah,
I really like that.
Okay, great.
Yeah, that feels good. I mean, I've got my watery juice. I'm wearing an invisibility cloak, essentially. I feel ready to just like tuck in and talk about feelings.
Let's do it.
Yeah. I've got 2 questions. These ones I actually pulled before we set up our email. I had done like an Instagram post being like, hey, send us our questions. And so I got a bunch from the DMs that I hate that I just said from the DMs.
No,
like
it's accurate. You're just being descriptive. And I'm excited.
Felt very 2014. And I just went back to, and there's like so much good stuff in there. So,
right.
Okay, so this is from a while ago, but here we go. Hey, Evan and Michelle. So looking forward to the podcast and can't wait to listen because this is before we aired.
Whoa, I hope we didn't disappoint you, by the way.
I know, she never listened again.
She's like, this sucks.
She's like, why didn't they answer my fucking question? Okay. I'm 25, living in Seattle, and let's call me Jane. I've been with my boyfriend for almost 6 months, and things are going great. I love him so much. He makes me laugh. He's hot. It's good. He's a super charismatic guy and really charming, which is one of the reasons I fell in love with him in the first place. Cut to me introducing him to all of my best friends. They all love him, which is great, but my one friend, let's call her Sally, really likes him. Like, she actively flirts with him, laughs at everything he says, touches his arm a lot. I notice her body language every time he's around, and it's just so obvious she's into him. I don't know how to bring it up because I want my friends to like my guy, and I don't want, to be insecure for no reason. And he doesn't flirt back, but he is a really friendly person, and I don't want that to change. But I also don't want him to encourage her. Oh, she also kind of dresses sexy now. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I feel like she's doing too much. Push-up bras and shit.
Push-up bras?
Yeah, would love your thoughts. Thank you.
Wow, I love this question.
Yeah.
I mean, my first instinct, Jane. Hello, Jane.
Hello, Jane.
From Seattle. My first instinct is that it, like, let it keep happening. It doesn't matter. Like, it's harmless. I think flirting is harmless. I don't think, like, and it sounds like because he's not flirting back, like, he's not encouraging anything. He's just being a nice guy. Like, let her get over it on her own. You don't have to force the issue because, in my opinion, if you confront her about it, it's like, are you willing to make this, like, extremely uncomfortable situation? Like, I don't know, feeling like maybe her dressing quote unquote sexier, she'll attract a different person in her life, and then she'll start dating someone and it'll totally resolve itself on its, I don't know. I personally, I'm in the world of like flirting, no bad, flirting, fine. That's my opinion. I know you feel differently, so you hit me with it now.
I just like, I don't know. I guess I agree. Like, I think you can't be like policing people, and a little bit of flirting, I would sort of in my like purest heart would be like, oh, it's actually really nice that my friend really likes my boyfriend this much. And I'm going to assume that it's coming from a good place and she's not trying to like steal him. But if it's starting to rub you the wrong way and you're starting to kind of, it sounds like we were noticing her push-up bras and stuff. You're like starting to like stress about this and obsess about it almost. And I get feeling like, what the fuck, a little bit. Like if my friends were overly flirting with Connor, or if his friends were, or one of his friends was like overdoing it and kind of constantly, that would definitely be annoying. And I think that's fair. I don't know. I would maybe...
Just, to what degree though? Like
I know, it's tricky.
Jane said touching him on his arm and like wearing a push-up bra. I'm like, I want to know how much arm touching. Is she like hanging off of him, or is she like touching his elbow after a joke?
But if she's writing in, it's obviously enough that she's like, this is crazy.
Right. And 26, like you guys are like adult enough that you should know, like,
yeah, the boundaries.
Yeah. 26
and maybe it's like if they're
a person,
if they're still going out, maybe like alcohol's involved, and when she's drinking, she just is like
100%.
this. You know what I mean?
There's some people who like when they drink, they are just like so touchy.
So touchy. Yeah. Which I don't know. I kind of have the mentality, to be honest, that like my girlfriends or friends, partners are brothers, and they kind of are instantly put in like brother category. And it's not because it's like I have to choose to do that. That's just sort of the way it is. And there is like a level of respect that I think needs to be present. It doesn't mean you have to dim your sparkle or whatever. Wear what you want. All of that is fine. But like, I think it is like shitty to be overly flirtatious with your friend's partner. I think that's like a weird thing to do.
Absolutely. I wonder if there's a difference between flirtation and like joking and having fun though, right? Because like if your girlfriend's boyfriends are like brothers to you,
yeah,
you could act some shitty jokey way and punch them on the shoulder and laugh with them and be jokey. It's the like her changing the way she dresses, I guess, but it's like, is that even real? Like, what do you mean is changing the way how would you even notice that? Like, you just like,
yeah,
push-up bras. How obvious? I guess it's pretty obvious when somebody's wearing a push-up. Like, who wears push-up bras in 2025?
I don't know.
Like,
who wears bras in general?
No,
in
exactly. 2025 is like the bra companies are like fighting for their lives to be like, they're still important.
Victoria's Secret is closing everywhere.
Yeah, like it's like I think they're realizing
it's like not a thing. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you've only been with your guy for 6 months too. I feel like if it was a longer relationship, I would be like, oh, just talk to your mans about it. But I understand not wanting to like come across as like hyper vigilant because that's not fun, especially if he is a charismatic, like friendly kind of golden retriever type. You don't want to.
It's not cute to be jealous either and to be like, to dim him and to like be like, don't flirt with my friend. Like, don't let my friends flirt with you.
Yeah, it's like, definitely don't come at him like he's in trouble. Maybe just be like,
is she?
I'm like noticing, like, am I crazy or are you picking up on this or am I totally
You guys could just laugh about it. It's true. Like, ask him and it might be diffuse it. I wonder if these people are even still together. Like, when was this question sent?
Well, it was sent in November.
November, and they'd been dating for 6 months at the time. November, December, January, almost end of February. So this is like, this could be 4 months later. I hope you guys are still together.
I hope you guys are still together.
Or she's already usurped the guy. Oh my God, can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Please respond with what actually went down. But yeah, I think I would be annoyed, but I also like, I don't think that it's wrong to, like we've talked about before, have male female interactions that are friendly and fun and light. And we don't think those are immediately inappropriate. Like, that's unfair.
Right.
But also trust your gut, girl.
Girl, trust your gut. Always trust your gut at the end of the day. But then you don't always have to act on your gut, like kind of what Michelle has been preaching historically. Like, just because you feel a certain way doesn't mean you have to like take action. You can just be like, oh, I feel this way. Acknowledge it. Mm-hmm. Maybe write it down somewhere. Send a question to the podcast.
Yep.
That always helps.
But I think Evan, your instinct of like making it a bit of a joke with your partner, being like, wow, she's really on one. Like, a kind of like, haha, like she loves you. And you can kind of like laugh about it and make it light and not make it feel like you're getting mad at anybody.
Totally. It also builds like a nice inside joke with your partner, which is always fun to have.
Yeah. Who doesn't like kind of like clowning on somebody who's being too much? Okay. She also ended with another little aside question.
Great. Oh my God.
Okay.
She's like, where do I buy a good push-up bra to fight that?
She says, oh, also, this is a Letterkenny question. Sorry, but I have to know who would make you both break the most on set. I missed the show so much and I really wanted to come back.
This is a classic cue.
Classic. Do you want to start us off?
Okay. Who actually makes me break the most? I will say I almost never do. I think there is like the skids, just the way that we act on set, like we have to be so tense. And sometimes like a tons of tension makes things funnier. But for the most part, it's usually like, oh, I'm so uncomfortable in my body, like hunched over, squeezing my butt cheeks so hard that like things aren't funny. Like, it's frantic.
No, and you're in like, as funny as you guys are, your own character is not having fun necessarily. They're in fight mode.
Yeah, never having fun. So the only times I think I kind of start laughing maybe is when we are kind of more side characters in the episode and we're just watching everyone else act. So if like, for instance, like the Chips episode or like the Kids with Problems, I had a couple moments in Kids with Problems where there's this kind of like presentation element and other people be presenting to us and I thought some funny stuff was happening. I think, to be honest, Kiso probably made me break the most just because the things he's doing are so small.
Yeah.
And small things really get me if I don't anticipate them. So if you do like a little quirk of the butt cheek and like that's his one joke in the moment and it's like this 20-second pause and then a little like, like that can get me and I'm like, fuck. But like someone screaming in my face, something that might otherwise appear very funny on screen doesn't necessarily break me as a character. I'm like, ooh, this is a lot to act opposite.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
How about you? Who do you break with?
I mean, you guys definitely, when you and Roland and Stuart are together kind of like going off, and I see just your energy versus everybody else's energy being such a like non-fit, that kind of makes me laugh. Like you guys come in with such a weird frequency that I think when we're all together and it's trying to play off each other, and it's kind of like, it just feels like oil and water, and that always makes me laugh. So you guys did make me break often, but Jared and I would, if and it wasn't often, but he would get the giggles in the same way that the sleepover giggles. We would get the sleepover giggles. And if that happened, it was like a disease, and Jacob would have to call cut because we could not. And it's like we both have the same or similar, like silent kind of red face laugh that becomes, it's just like so childish. And if he gets in that level, and it's usually a mix of like end of the day exhaustion, and we're just trying to like get through this one dumb little line. And I think the one that's like coming to mind is the Halloween special when we did like the Uncle Eddie. Stupid. And it's like the longest blooper reel we have, the like Hicks.
Yeah, what's the quote? Yeah.
He's just trying to say Uncle Eddie, but he kept kind of like fucking up and saying Uncle Hetty, and it was like just a weird, and again, it's not funny, but
it's contagious because you know he's about to do it again. Like you're like,
and
he's about to say Uncle Hetty again,
and he can't speak properly, and his whole face is red. He's crying, and he's like, "Let's go on another one." And Jacob's like, "We can't.
Yeah,
you look insane. Like, what are you talking about?
You're weeping. This is the first time we've ever seen Wayne cry.
Yeah, he's
and
weeping.
Now he's weeping full out.
But yeah, you guys, and then when Jared gets the sillies is when I kind of would break the most.
You broke the most on the live tour with Mark Forward, because Mark Forward had it out for you sometimes.
Oh God, yeah.
So that was different.
Yes.
But he was trying to fuck you up.
Yeah, he was trying to fuck me up, and he succeeded, and it was very funny. And I think that was okay because it was the very end of the shows when we were doing the yes scene, and he was just doing the most guttural sounds, no blinking, staring into my eyes in a hunch, kind of like a high school drama teacher squat. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know the one.
Yeah,
Hands on the thighs.
Yeah. So it was that. It's like I'm weak in front of that. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Do you remember when one of the shows when Andrew and Dylan's mic kept cutting in and out? And every time it would cut out is when they would say like a line that was scripted, and then they'd be like, fuck. And that's when the mic would cut in. So it was like completely out of sync. And I had tears running down it was such a clusterfuck. It was so funny.
There was a couple of those. There's a couple audio issues, or like a microphone, or like a... Or even just honestly, like once again, Mark just targeting someone Nate. That one scene with Nate, that just every single night became more and more of a game of how early into the scene could he break Nate. Mm-hmm. Got pretty early, but at some point he just walked out on stage, and Nate would be like, "Oh,"
and Nate was crying. Yeah.
That was fun.
It's fun working with like people that are competitively funny. Mm-hmm. Like it that could go wrong, but I think the whole cast, like we were always really, especially once we really got into flow of the show and like knew our characters well and came super prepared. It did become like, how do we make this kind of like even more interesting while we're on set?
Competitively funny in the show and in the live show, but we're never competitively funny when we're hanging out. Mm-hmm. And that's like such a different energy, because a lot of other actors are competitively funny behind the scenes. And then that's when it's uncomfortable, because it's like, we get it. You're a comedian.
Yes, that's
take
actually
a fucking break.
Take a breath, babe.
Relax.
Yeah. That's actually a very
like
good distinction, because that is so annoying.
Yeah, we could just hang out at like the cottage, and just hang out. Like we could always just like sit down and have a beer and have a good time and laugh. We're laughing. We're having a fun time. But we're not like trying to one up each other.
Yeah, we're not doing like constant bits. Constant bits. Yeah.
Which people probably think we are, though.
I hope we're right that we weren't like giving
No,
that.
we weren't. Of course we weren't.
Okay.
No, unless it's just you and I are. Just we're so blind to this. We're such assholes.
Everyone's like, there are a lot.
Yeah. Evan and Michelle in particular. It makes sense they started a podcast. They were super annoying.
God. Okay, should we get into another question?
Absolutely. Here, I got one here. This one is called Boss Probs. You weren't going to do this one, were you? Okay.
Nope.
Hey, Evan and Michelle. I have been enjoying listening to your podcast and slowly rewatching Letterkenny again, which I love. This sounds like she is actually watching Letterkenny with us again, which is, that's my dream. I can't imagine. I don't know what it's like for you people who have watched the show all at once in 3 days and now you're watching one episode every week. Thank you for your patience. I need y'all's help. So this person's obviously from the South. Cool. I work for a small company. Our team is made up of 9 people. My supervisor had a birthday party. All but 2 were invited. Ooh. I was one of the ones that wasn't invited. Ooh. I thought we were cool, but I guess I was wrong. I have weekly meetings with her. What should I do? Confront her? Ignore her? Act like nothing is wrong and my feelings were not hurt? Love you forever and don't stop being amazing.
Okay, ignore the shit out of her.
Yeah,
absolutely ice queen this person.
Didn't invite you to the 9-person...
Are we in kindergarten and you're like, you have absolutely no social skills and you didn't like hand out your Valentine's Day card to everyone and then you made somebody cry and you didn't learn that lesson? That's so stupid. Yeah, that is crazy.
It's a little, I mean, the ratio here is just bizarre. Like 9 people is just too small of a company to only invite 7.
Yeah, it's so targeted.
Yeah, it feels like you didn't even, this is an icky feeling. I'd be like worried about working there. Yeah, I know.
That person fucking sucks. Oh. Sorry for saying the F word so much. This is also
what did you say? What F word did you use?
I just
what did you say?
I just said fucking.
You're apologizing for saying fucking?
Yeah.
Oh, Michelle.
I feel like I'm noticing when I'm listening to this podcast where I'm like, I get back in Letterkenny brain where I swear a lot. I don't swear a lot in my normal life, but when I'm in this zone, anyways, this is
me. I'm just such a bro. I bring it out in you.
Yeah, hockey bro, dude.
Country bro, cocky bro. My bad. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think she should do? Should she confront or no?
Well,
just
first
ignore?
of all, I'm sorry that happened because even as adults, being like. Those things really hurt. Being kind of, I don't know, I guess the word would be rejected. In any situation, it is hurtful. It's a really nasty thing to do to somebody. I don't care the circumstances. Like, you don't treat other people like that.
Yeah, it makes you feel like a kid again.
It does.
No matter what.
Exactly. And it's really like, that's just cruel. And I don't. That's like bully stuff, and I don't fuck with that at all.
That's my first instinct is that this person is a bully.
Again.
Yeah, fuck it. This person's a fucking bully, dude. No,
Damn it.
And I'm not thinking you should like poison her yogurt with like laxatives or something, but like there is an element of like
put
you don't
Nair in her shampoo bottle.
Don't give this person any more like flattery. Like, don't try and prove anything to this person. Don't give this person more of your time or your energy or your humor or your kindness and generosity. You don't need to do that with them. They have put themselves in this place. Let them work to get you back, I think. Or you could go kill them with kindness, but that feels a little bit subby in this situation.
Be a dom, don't be a sub in this situation. Yeah. I think like, look, it's work. Work is work. And sometimes you just have to like, despite your feelings, suck it up, be an adult, go to work, kind of be the bigger person. Yeah. I think you stay on course, be who you are, which I'm assuming is like a nice, normal, adjusted human being. Treat them with like respect and be courteous and all of those things. But I agree, don't kill them don't go above and beyond.
No.
I would be a little bit icy, like, but subtly. You got to be strategic with it, where it's just like you could not care less about them. You're happy to do the work and, share space when you need to, but that's it.
Yeah. Host another birthday party and invite everyone but her.
Oh my God.
No, I
think actually the better move would be to invite her. And it's all about those like little
that is killing with kindness though.
Me going, it's all about those little microaggressions. But when somebody is that way, you're allowed to just be subtly a bit cruel in a way that they could never call you on it. Yeah. I like that.
I'm curious how this turns out too, because this to me is like, I say kill them with kindness if somebody's confronting you. If somebody's like yelling at you on the street, for instance, it's always funny. It's always hilarious to be like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then all of a sudden they just it breaks their brain. But somebody being a full bully, like calculatedly not inviting you, it just doesn't work the same way. You have to try something different. Not fire with fire necessarily. Like you can't bully them back, but like you got to just be like,
be above it.
Be above it. Yeah. Be above them in a way that is like classy and like, you just do your work like a fucking champ. Make them embarrassed to not invite you.
Yeah. It's like Michelle Obama says, they go low, we go higher.
Is that what she says? Is that classic?
Although I think that we've maybe gone too high sometimes, and sometimes like we need to get a little bit like
sometimes you just got to do a box kick. Yeah. Sometimes you got to go real low.
If things really come to it, I can't recommend a box kick enough. It's fun. It's surprising. Nobody will see it coming. Nobody will even know how to react. They won't even know what it is.
Yeah. What did she just do? I hope that helped. I hope we've solved that problem for you.
Yeah. And like, ew.
Yeah, ew for that person. You're fine.
Ew for that person. Yeah, that's gross. So weird. Okay, this one's like kind of emotional. All right.
Oh, that's okay. I have emotions. I'm ready.
Yeah, you're ready. Hey, Spare Parts. I'm a 43-year-old guy living in Ottawa. Shout out Canada's capital.
Let's go.
I was really overweight my entire life and it was breaking me down. So a couple years ago, I decided I was done. I worked really hard, and with the help of diet, exercise, and Ozempic, I've lost over 100 pounds and feel the best I ever have. I've never been in a relationship, probably because I had such low self-worth for so long. Even though I've changed my life, I still feel like I don't have enough to offer. I want to be a husband, have a family, and I'm worried I've run out of time and I won't find it. How do I try to match my outsides with my insides? I know finding confidence is different for everybody, but I can't see myself clearly. Thanks. Love the podcast. Devoted Tartlet.
I love you, first of all.
I love you.
I love you.
Evan, you've got tears in your eyes.
My instinct here is that you need to put yourself in a position where you are trying new things as often as possible. Join a cooking class, join pottery. Yes. Put yourself in places where you are going to meet people who have shared soft interests. And talk and get to know people and build community locally. Like, you got to get yourself out there. And then you'll find the confidence from just doing that, from showing up every day, having coffee with these people, talking with these people. It'll happen for you. I promise.
That's perfect advice. Yeah. It's like, that's how you build confidence, is by doing things that you enjoy. Mm-hmm. And ideally, like Evan said, it's like I have a lot of things that I enjoy doing that are by myself. But if I'm feeling like I want to get out there, meet people, whether that's just friends or like romantic partners, whatever, it's like finding places where you can do an interest that's a little bit social. Mm-hmm. So like even, especially because you've gotten into fitness and you're kind of focused on your physical health and things like that, a hiking club, like all of these things that sound almost like something a mom would recommend to you, but they're so right. Like
moms
that is what they know. Right. Moms are so right. No, but it's really true. And sometimes when you feel kind of insecure about yourself, you can shut in, and that's an understandable instinct. But yeah, join up for different things. And even if it's like, oh, this isn't fully a fit for me, try it out and then try something else. Like, just keep putting yourself in positions where you're learning things, like Evan said. I mean, everything Evan said is perfect.
Well, there's always something out there for everyone, right? Like if it's not a fitness thing that ends up working out for you, you could join a book club,
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of different types of fitness, like rock climbing, run club.
Yes.
There's a lot of CrossFit communities are very,
Oh yeah, super tight.
Yeah, super tight. And Ottawa has everything like that. Ottawa has everything to offer. So you have the location.
Yeah.
You can do this. I have faith in you. You're going to find the confidence. The fact that you're even writing in and you're curious to find the confidence, like there is a fake it till you make it element to confidence. And part of that is putting yourself out there, building up those kind of like that structure within yourself to be like, oh, my opinions are good and I'm valid and I'm funny and I have good taste.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Also, just the way it's written, you sound already really self-aware, which is a very, like, to be self-aware is already to be in touch and Therefore, that's some confidence right there. Not everybody has that. You'll be shocked.
Oh my
and
God.
then you signed off as Tartlet. You're funny.
You're funny and you're fine.
You're funny. So you're nailing it. Yeah. So just stay on course. You've done so much work already. And it's going to take time for like, I think physical and emotional sometimes take a minute to like coincide and feel like they match up, and that's okay. Like allow it to be a bit of a process.
Yeah, and body dysmorphia affects literally everyone, not just people who are overweight. So it's like you could be you could be the skinniest person in the world, and that like it usually is the skinniest people who feel the most, that effect of like not seeing themselves for how they actually look. Mm-hmm. So, just know that you're not the only person suffering from this kind of like inability to kind of, bring those insides out, right? Like, but you have done an incredible thing. You have accomplished so much already. You're so ahead of the game. Like, you can have a family. You'll be fine.
Oh yeah, you're also only 43 and you're a guy, so you're fine. Like, sorry, but you're fine.
I think Al Pacino just had a kid like last week. Like, I think,
and isn't he like 92?
Like 90. Yeah, he's ancient. Like, you're okay.
Like ideally, don't wait till your 90s, but you won't. Like, you're only 43. Like, it's gonna be good. It's all gonna be good.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. I'm excited for you.
I'm just like imagining. I just got a very intense image of Al Pacino's
dick.
A sperm of his with a little cane walking towards an egg and somehow diving in,
putting on his ancient 50s swim trunks.
Oh God. Hectic.
Yeah.
Love that question though. That's so relatable. So no, you're just not alone. Get out there. It's all going to work out.
That's really, really, really lovely.
Yeah.
I want the best for you. Okay. Do we want another one here? This is,
let's do one more.
This one's called My Wife is Rad.
Okay. And it's a problem.
Hello, Michelle and Evan. Happy Valentine's Day. My wife and I are big fans of the show. We dressed up as skids 2 years ago and made a TikTok where we stab each other with EpiPens. Amazing. Definitely remember that one. Anyway, I don't have any major problems with my spouse. In fact, maybe I should have read this. In fact, she's amazing and currently gracefully navigating being a mother to our 9-month-old son. In the spirit of Valentine's Day, I just want to hijack a segment to give my wife a shout out and tell her I'm thrilled to be building our family together.
I feel bamboozled.
Frankly. I know relationship problems and advice are the meat of spare parts, but I don't have any complaints to share right now. You two would absolutely be the first people I ask for advice from if I need it and when I need it, however. Okay. This is hilarious.
So this is just great. A brag.
This is just somebody bragging about how sick their wife is. Fuck. Damn it. We got tricked. Oh, man.
Did we not learn from the firefighter episode that we always need to read the questions in advance? Because
Isaac and Julene, they fucked us. They screwed us over here.
They screwed us over. But also, I guess, like, happy for you.
Happy for you guys. Like, fuck.
Yeah, and also, you know what? More people need to be hyping up their spouse. Maybe not to a podcast that is for advice about things going wrong, per se. That feels like a bit manipulative.
Yeah, you're bragging.
But I think that's also really sweet.
Yeah. That is really sweet.
That's really, really sweet.
That's really sweet. Now I'm quickly scanning to see if there's another one that is real advice. This one just says, I see you.
Oh God. Sent by who?
Bro, what?
What's the email?
Okay, so so there's a first email and then the second email says, I see you. The first email says, I wanted to drop you both a note to say how much I've been enjoying the podcast. Your conversations have added a whole new layer of appreciation to one of my favorite shows. I've gotten into the habit of rewatching each episode before listening to your corresponding podcast. I had a small suggestion that might help listeners who do the same. Would you consider adding the Letterkenny season and episode number as a prefix, which we did. Exactly how Andy wanted us to do it.
And then he said, I see you. Yes.
And then it was eyes and a heart. Okay. That's cute. That's
actually cute. Threat, but that's actually cute.
It was both a threat and really cute. So thank you.
Thanks, Andy.
These are hilarious. I'm loving the idea of just reading the non-questions now.
I know. Let's just get through a couple of these.
One of my favorite, we got to read this at some point. This one is just labeled, I'm sure you've seen this one in the list. It's just labeled "Longing for an Italian Man, gay" in brackets.
Which I love. I couldn't relate more.
It's great.
Okay.
Great.
Read it. No?
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It says, I'm a 21-year-old guy from in a soon-to-be 2-year relationship with another 20-year-old guy. He's the sweetest and most open-minded boyfriend I've ever had, and I can talk about literally anything with him. However, I don't always feel attracted to him. Our relationship is long distance, about an hour drive. That's brutal. And we meet a weekend once a month. Both of us still live at home with our parents. I've had 3 serious relationships before him, all of whom were 5 to 12 years older than me. Ooh, those numbers aren't working out in my head right now. I'm his first both romantically and sexually, but he is also the best I've ever had sexually. Oh, and you're not attracted to him? There's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
What makes me less attracted is his lack of independence and motivation. This is funny because he also lives at home. Oh, he can't cook or do laundry, and he doesn't buy his own clothes. He doesn't have any goals in life, and when something is too hard, he gets frustrated and rage quits and blames everything other than himself. Never blames me, though. I'm scared that I'm going to end up taking the role of his mother. He doesn't do a lot on his own initiative-wise, so whenever I come over, we just end up sitting in front of the TV unless I tell him I want to do something else. And then it's always up to me to decide. He always says, whatever is fine. And I hate getting told that all the time. It feels so unpassionate. I want to be told, I want to take you on a date. Be ready tonight at 8. Not, I want to go on a date. Where should we go? I really love him, but I don't want to get to 30 and find myself longing for a passionate Italian man. Here's how we recenter.
Okay.
This is just a European dude who knows Italian men are passionate.
Yeah.
Longing for a passionate Italian man to romance me while he is on the couch playing video games. Oh, Letterkenny angels, what should I do?
Oh my gosh. What?
Oh no.
What?
I should have read the follow-up email.
What?
There's a follow-up email.
Wait, should we answer the questions first or answer that first and then get the follow-up?
The follow-up email says, I wrote this in the heat of the moment. Please ignore this question as I will be mortified if I hear this on the podcast.
Too late, love. Because we don't like to read ahead over here.
We've learned nothing. We've learned nothing.
Okay, so obviously we had to bleep some of that because he's mortified and we just sort of want to protect some of his privacy. But we are going to leave it in, just bleeped a little bit so that we can kind of get best of both worlds it. Also, sorry, you did write it in and we didn't read ahead. And so here we are.
And we need the content. No,
I
it's
also
a great
think
question.
this is a really
it's a
relatable
really
question.
Good question. Yeah, very
Because
relatable.
sometimes people can get really complacent in relationships, obviously, regardless of like who those people are, how old they are. That just like happens.
Yeah.
And it's not good. And you do want a partner that's going to plan dates and make you feel special and kind of get out of like the mundane day-to-day stuff, which can also be fun and great and like a wonderful thing to share with somebody. It's unrealistic to think that it's going to be like crazy dates all the time.
No,
but you need those mixed in.
Yeah, some of those dates then make the everyday life more passionate and more interesting and more lovely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you just have to tell him that. Mm-hmm. You just have to be like, a love language for me, or what I need to feel this. I also think leading by example. So if like you want him to surprise you with a planned date, surprise him with a planned date a couple of times. And then maybe if he's still not picking up on it and like taking initiative, then you have a conversation. You go, look, the dates that we've been doing together that I've planned, I love doing that for you because I love you and I want to make you feel special. I do hope that like you can do that for me because it makes me feel excited too. It makes me feel loved. And if he loves you, he's going to be like, oh, of course I want to make you feel that way. I'm going to do that for sure. That's
super valid. And honestly, it's going to be this will be a bit of a deal breaker situation. Like you do the thing, you should lead by example. And then if he's not willing to do the same for you, then you know, because you want that in your life. You want somebody who's just as involved and just as dedicated and just as excited to go out and do things. Because otherwise, you're never going to go traveling with this person unless you make everything happen. You're never going to go to a new place unless you demand it. Like you don't want to live like that if that's not your vibe.
No, and you don't want a friend. You want to be friends with your partner, but your partner is not just your friend. Like it needs to be different and it needs to be romantic, and it needs to be romantic in 10 years, in 20 years. And that takes work. And I know you're really young. So like, but I would feel the same way. You're like, what? I'm like 20 years old and this is going to be it. Like that sucks.
Yeah, that's a bit of a bummer. Maybe with a little bit more independence though, this person could find themselves, you know, a world of possibilities in front of them, right? Like it kind of does have a domino effect. Like you move out of your parents' house and then all of a sudden you like find different interests, or like you have to learn how to cook for the first time. You have to learn how to do your own laundry. Like all these things happen and you kind of become once you become a more well-rounded person, you become more interested in other things as well. Like there's something about being like, that's why there's that stereotype of like, you know, the 35-year-old guy who's like living at home with his parents. He like he just kind of like watches TV all day because, you know, he doesn't have a reason to not. So, you know, it could happen. It could happen, but also be prepared to break it off with this person.
Well, I was just going to say you're 20. So it's likely that you guys are probably going to need to go find yourselves. And that's okay. That doesn't make
partners.
you like, you will for a bit and maybe you'll find each other again. Maybe I'm totally wrong and you guys will be able to like be side by side as you grow, but just don't feel too like, or don't be hard on yourself if it falls apart. Like that's okay too.
Statistically, you're not going to stay together. Like I'm just going to go ahead and say that like, it's just not going to happen. And in my own experience, I was so different. When I was 23, I was a completely different person than when I was 27. You know?
Yeah.
And if you're willing to like change that much with a person, you guys got to change in the right ways together in order to stay together, which is so unlikely. After 27, it's all a bust. You're the same.
I would say like after 25 even.
That's you? I feel like that 23 to 27.
You're right. Late 20s to like early. Yeah, that's fair.
Now I'm never changing. I am so
set in your ways.
Done. I'm 35. I'm fucking put me in the coffin. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Feel that. Also, just PSA for everybody, dudes, take your person on a date.
Hell yeah.
Like,
what's your ideal?
Fun.
What's your dream date you get surprised with? What's your thing that you want right now?
I don't know. I don't have grandiose expectations. That's like not something that I love, like travel and stuff, but I wouldn't. But
you don't want to be swept away on a plane ticket somewhere. You want to go to like where? Somewhere local?
I want to go to like dinner, or I want like there to be like a spa experience booked and then like a dinner after, or we like even go on like a nice hike or like an impromptu like overnight somewhere beautiful. But it doesn't have to be like a flight to Paris.
No,
and like
of course not.
You know
that's
what I mean?
Like that's the fake date that people talk about.
Yeah, but I do like to be surprised for sure.
You like surprises?
Course,
My wife does not like surprises.
Really?
She does not enjoy surprises. She likes everything planned to the T. She wants to know exactly when if I tell her, I can tell her there is a surprise tonight at this time. That is the closest I can get to a surprise. I can never go like, and I'm whisking you away. Like she would hate that.
She'd be a bit panicked.
Yeah, she'd be like, "What? I didn't account for this." Like
so she's not like a spontaneous.
Alana's the least spontaneous person on the face of the earth. She is so regimented. She does the same things every day, same time every day. She is like an FBI agent.
Wow.
Like she is so. Yeah. But the thing is, like, she can have fun. Like tonight, Nadine is coming over for cocktails and I'm doing a bunch of different cocktails because I'm like testing stuff out on her. Like I'm making the Toronto for the first time tonight, which is a cocktail from the 1920s, which is like a classic Fernet rye Canadian whiskey cocktail. I'm very excited to make.
Cool.
Anyway, I had to tell Alana, but Alana's like, like she's been preparing to drink tonight for like days. Like she's like,
been
okay,
like extra hydrated.
Yeah.
Putting in some carbs, extra carbs. Yeah.
She's like, she has to know. Like I can never, like, I think it's very different than like past relationships. There was a lot of like value placed on like me being like, we're going to go to cocktails all of a sudden at 3 p.m. because I feel like it and I'm taking you out for cocktails, and they'd be very appreciative and it'd be very fun and it'd be a date. Not the same thing is going to work on everybody, right? Like everybody's got a different.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think like, I don't know if I'd be super down with like spontaneous dates every week, but I do love some spontaneity for sure. I think that's really fun for me.
That's cool.
But yeah, you're totally right. Everybody is different, and you just have to like, if there is something that you want from your partner that you're not getting, you have to at the very least ask for it before you make a decision.
Totally. We do not ask enough. And it's embarrassing to ask sometimes. I think that's why it's so hard to, it's kind of like confrontational.
When you don't want to make them feel like they're disappointing you, even though in this case he clearly is.
He is. Which is okay. It's okay to be disappointed. Like, if he's willing to change.
Well, yeah. And also make sure to threaten that you will leave him for a passionate Italian hot guy. If he doesn't pick up the pace.
A Rocco. Or a Giuseppe.
Giuseppe. Yeah. Wow, what a funny question. I hope we're allowed to keep that in, but if we're not, sorry. We love you, and we'll bleep it out so that we'll make sure that you're protected. Yeah, we hope you enjoy us answering this question and are not terrified of the result of it. But then again, maybe you've already broken up. It's probably been this one's actually pretty recent. I like that the last two that you read were like completely not vetted before, and sorry about that. I think that was perfect. That's very I had to have my non-vetted situation. Of course, we gotta keep this like loose. We gotta. Hey, you know what? We're also in a relationship of sorts. We gotta keep surprising each other. Gotta keep surprising each other. It's true. That's fun. Absolutely. Thank you for doing a spare hearts with me, Michelle. This is fun. This is a good idea. I think we can make these. This is interesting. And this feels like a nice, again, I don't know what your environment is like, but it's a rainy kind of like cozy day over here. Like I just wanted to talk about feelings. So thank you. 30 centimeters of snow on the ground. God. People are falling everywhere. It's crazy. My dog found an ice rink yesterday. He was slip sliding. He loved it. I didn't know Dewey would love ice, but he loves ice. He's a snow dog. He's very much a snow dog. Yeah. Clem likes it, but then she kind of hurt her little hip. And so, she slipped. On ice? Well, she was doing her kind of classic dog speedboat. Her bum went too low and she just like turned up a little bit too much with the other dogs in the park. And it was like wet and slippy. And now she's like... Is she in like a thing? Does she but she's like kind of when she gets up, like she's fine when she's all warm, but when she's like lying down for a long time, then she gets up, she's limping. And it's now I'm on like a mission to find an orthopedic bed that's like memory foam with like a proper, because I'm like, her bed is good, but it could be better. Take her down to Palm Springs and hang out with your dad for a bit. Get the dry air. Get her nice and dry. He can show her around how to be a... Oh my God, did I ever tell you about Barkingham Pet Resort? No. Okay, so... Is that our new business plan that we're going to start? Okay. Because I'm in. So Connor and I went to, when we were living in LA for a few months, we went to Coachella and obviously were like... This is wild. I know this whole story, forgive me. But we had Clementine with us and we were like, okay, well, obviously we can't take her. So what are we going to do? And my parents like could have, but it was just kind of whatever. So we found this like dog hotel in Palm Desert that's called the Barkingham Dog Resort. And then it cost me so much money, but I was like, she's never stayed in a kennel. So I kind of was like, you know what? They've got a pool. Best of the best. Yeah. I like got her a separate room, but there's dogs. She's got her own little space. They were like, there's a checklist of things you can add. They're like, do you want her to have a peanut butter Kong every night? I said, absolutely. Extra $20 each peanut butter Kong. She got an hour of pool time a day. It was so expensive. It was like more money than I would have ever spent on myself for a hotel. She was living her best life. It's so funny. She was just like she was in a spa resort. Oh my God, did they send you like photos and videos of her? Oh yeah, little updates. Clementine's, feeling a little less social today, but she likes cuddling with all the employees. She really enjoyed her peanut butter Kong. She slept for about 12 hours. She had a good swim, feeling a bit hot, so she's taking a water break. Like I got like a lot of info. I feel like for this Instagram post, you need to do like your Coachella fits interspersed, like Coachella fit, video of Clem, Coachella fit. Well, they didn't give me video, unfortunately. There was a webcam, which I was, I was told that I'd have access to, and it just didn't work, which I was kind of pissed about. But at the end, they gave me like a report of her behavior. Report. That's so interesting. That's such an interesting. Really cute. I have never also left Dewey at a place yet, and if there was a Barkingham, in Toronto, I would definitely put him there. I'm for the sure first time. There is in Forest Hill, definitely. Oh, there probably is some fancy thing. Eh? Oh yeah. And like, obviously Palm Springs, because it's so hot, you can't have it just be exclusively outdoors. They need AC.
AC,
but
of course.
in Canada, there's like a lot on Vancouver Island that are like huge fields, and they obviously sleep inside and stuff. But there's a lot of like, so fancy in a different way. This was just very like California posh, and it was really funny.
She's just lounging all day. She's not getting any exercise. Just, like, just lying by the pool.
Peanut butter.
Yeah. Oh, that's so nice.
Anyways, it was cute.
Yeah, send her back there. She'll be fine after a week.
Yeah, she'll be fine. Oh, her little limp. God bless her.
That makes me sad. When Dewey limps because of the salt on the sidewalks right now, because like his paw will get a little irritated and he'll start like walking with like one paw up. My heart like shatters.
Oh yeah, God, we love them so much. It's like sick.
It's gross. Sometimes I stare at his face. I grab his cheeks and I stare at his face.
I know.
And I'm like, I love you too much. You need to.
I know.
Like,
it makes
this
me
is bad.
feel ill. Actually, my mom was like watching me with her, and she's so sweet. She goes, you know, you might think of like maybe getting another dog just like in the next few years, because she's so worried that when Clementine passes away, I'm going to have an absolutely, I'm just going to have a mental breakdown. And she's right, because I will have a mental breakdown.
Yeah, it'll be a while.
I'm actually quite worried about it.
Yeah, of course. What do you think about her suggestion? Would you get a second dog?
I think she's not wrong. I'm just worried that I won't love the second dog as much as Clementine.
See,
and then I'll be left with this dog that I'm like, what?
That to me is so funny. That's like your perspective right now, but so unrealistic.
I know, it's like dumb.
What kind of dog would you get if you were to get a second? Same again? You go for a lap?
I think I would get like a little scruff.
Really? Like a little
like
ratty?
Like a Mexican rescue dog that's like
something you could take on a plane?
Ideally. I think I need a different vibe than gorgeous Clementine, so I'm not comparing.
Oh, you need a rat.
I need a rat. I need like wiry hair weirdo.
Well, they have a lot of those.
Not a gorgeous
out there
blonde.
In the adoption world. There are definitely a lot of little wiry weirdos.
Yeah.
with like eyes going in different directions and a snaggle tooth. Like
exactly.
Those are available if you want one. I think you can get a pretty young one too if that's your concern. If you can't adopt a 10-year-old one and then get Clem and then lose both of them at the same time.
Don't even. I know.
Sorry.
Dog stuff. Okay,
just get a turtle. It lives 100 years. It'll outlive you.
Or a parrot. So cool. Okay, well, this has been very sweet, very chatty. Thanks for listening, everybody, to kind of a special Spare Hearts targeted episode. We'll be back next week with a very Letterkenny heavy episode. So we just kind of wanted to mix this in, like we said.
Yeah, because next week we have a very special guest who I don't know if should we tease it? Should we just say who it is? Because
I don't know.
She's coming on. I'm just gonna say
she's coming on. She is a force.
Force. I think you just gave it away. There's only one force.
She's unlike anyone I've ever met, and we're obsessed with her, and we just can't wait to sit down and have a chat.
Every time I bump into her, I'm always like, whoa. You're cool.
Oh, God.
You're just so sure of yourself and so cool.
Yeah, and it kind of makes you you're like, I need to be better at being like exactly who I am at all times.
Oh, I feel more like myself after bumping into her. Like she puts that energy on me sometimes because I'm like, I'll talk to her and I'll be like, damn, like you're going to live like that? Like, all right, me too.
Yeah, hey, me too. So actually comment under this episode who you think it is.
Yeah, who do you think it is?
That's fun and we love it.
Everyone's like, Dylan.
It's Dylan. Can't wait to have him on too, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, Evan, I love you. It's good to see you. Thanks to everyone writing in. Write in more.
Yeah, sparepartspod@gmail.com. We need them.
We need them. We love them. I'm going to go out on a limb and ask for some freaky ones.
Yeah, freak us out. Give us some weird ones.
Yeah. Whatever that means to you. I want a little freaky deaky energy for the next, especially with our guest coming on next week. Like I want her advice on things that are like inappropriate.
Kink stuff.
I want kink.
Yeah, you got kink out? You got kink? Send us your kink.
Send us your kink and send us your problem with your kink or your partner's kink.
Oh, please. Yeah, that's all I want this to be about.
Next episode's a kink episode.
Kink episode.
Yes. Okay, great.
Our guest is super kinky. No.
She's like, what?
Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? No, she would call us out on it because that's the type of person she is.
Hell yeah.
If you don't know who we're talking about by now, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, do you even watch the show? Okay, well, we love you. We'll see you next week. Like, subscribe, follow, interact with us. It really obviously helps.
The ratings
keep this going.
Do everything for us. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
We do. Yeah,
it's our kink.
We love you guys.
Every time I read a rating, I'm like, oh. Sorry. Take that back.
No, Connor, you're going to leave that sound in.
Shoot. Okay.
Okay, Evan, we'll see you soon. I love
See
you.
ya. Love ya.
Bye, guys.
Bye.